Hey, Facebook family. I am live here, and my name is Kamala. For those of you that don't know me, Kamala Larson. I'm a health coach, and I also I'm in the mental wellness business, and that's doing wonderful. But today I was listening to a podcast. Hey, Joseph, how are you? And it was talking about the brain and facts about the brain. So I went and looked them up online. It's very interesting. So this person that I was listening to on a podcast, he was talking about the brain and how amazing it is. And we have about a 3-pound brain for all humans. And with the brain, we have about 86 billion synapses going on in our brain, neurons, so the dendrites and the axons, and all these synapses we have going on. But we have about 1 quadrillion synapses in the brain, and we have 86 billion neurons in our brain. So that's a lot of power for a 3-pound brain. So when anyone says you can't do something or that's impossible, now we know they are not being truthful, because our brain has 86 billion neurons and there's 1 quadrillion synapses happening in our brain. Hey, James. Hey, Mark. So I find that fascinating. Now, here's some other facts here, because I just started looking it up and I'm reading all these facts and they're amazing me. So I wanted to bring them here and share them with you. So 80% of our brain is water. Very interesting. And as we get older, the brain loses almost 1 gram per year. That's not good, but it happens. Only 4% of the brain cells work, and the remaining cells are kept in reserve. There was some interesting things in here. I'm not on that page, but just from my memory, the brain is made up of a lot of cholesterol, but it's different cholesterol than the rest of our body. So our brains can actually recycle the cholesterol within our brain, which I thought was amazing. Hey, Mike. Hey, Hal. If you guys got any good tips on the brain, post them. Only if they're age appropriate. For kids, get on here too, So don't do anything that's inappropriate. Our brain has over 100 billion nerve cells. The adult brain is about 2% of the total body weight. Men listen with the left side of the brain, and women use both sides of the brain. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? Is that a truth? This is what it says. Good old Google. The information superhighway, Google. The human brain is the most powerful computer, which has the processing speed of 300 gigahertz. The human brain is very soft, it's very soft like butter. The human brain does not feel any pain. Now, the bone and the outer part, the skin, will feel pain, but the brain itself does not feel any pain. And the brain uses 20% of our body energy and makes up only 2% of the body weight. So it's using a lot of energy. So that's probably where all those neurons are actually doing most of the energy work. Just really, really interesting stuff here. Neurons continue to grow throughout human life. So that's where they say our brains are neuroplastic, and they're finding more and more now that you can actually recreate memories from the past, because what we remember from the past, I can't remember the number, but it was dramatic. We only remember really only 30% of an experience of what we remember today from what it was. And people can actually tell us a memory, and we can actually believe the memory the way they saw it versus the way what it really happened. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Lee. Just amazing stuff. A neglected child brain can be substantially smaller than that of a healthy child. A condition called synesthesia, I'm sorry, I can't say that, but you guys can probably say it if you're in the medical profession. I'm not. Can cause senses to overlap. In other words, some people can taste words or hear colors. Very interesting. Any damage to brain cells cannot be repaired completely, but they can be, like they're neuroplastic. Neurons can keep growing. So, hey Teddy, hey Dan, hey Kelly. The brain is much more active at night than during the day. Anyone know that? That's interesting. Hey Bobby. So this is just really interesting stuff. The human brain is capable of creating more ideas equivalent to that of the atoms of the universe. Oh my gosh, it's probably why we have a subconscious mind. That's why we have an imagination. That's why we can have a vision. We can see something that's not physically here yet. Like you look at your Olympian athletes, like they do a lot of vision work. 80%, I think Tony Robbins talks about it, 80% of what we visualize, we have a higher chance of achieving it. So he goes through some examples and experiences, how he has you vision moving your body in a certain way, and then you open your eyes and then you actually do it. And then you have like a higher chance of, I can't remember, 20 or 30%, something like that. Hey, Kenny. So, the human brain is the most powerful computer. I went over that. Yep. The human brain is made up of more than 10 billion nerve cells and over 50 billion other cells and weighs less than 3 pounds. So, for those of you that didn't get that before. The brain operates on the same amount of power as a 10-watt light bulb. Your brain generates as much energy as a small light bulb even when you're sleeping. Very interesting. If those of you that hopped on here, this is a good one for you if you didn't listen to this one before. But men listen with the left side of the brain and women listen, men listen with the left side of the brain and women use both sides of the brain to listen. So the right and the left. The human brain constitutes 60% of white matter and 40% of gray matter. Very interesting. So they had some really cool brain facts for kids too on one of these pages. So neurons are surrounded by a membrane. Neurons have a nucleus that contains genes. Neurons contain cytoplasm, mitochondria, and other organelles. Neurons have specialized projections called dendrites and axons. Dendrites bring information to the cell body, and axons take information away from the cell body. Neurons communicate with each other through an electrochemical process. Neurons form specialized connections called synapses and produce special chemicals called neurotransmitters that are released at the synapse. There are approximately 1 quadrillion synapses in the human brain. That is 1 quadrillion synapses. That is a lot. So what is behind the saying, we use only 10% of our brain? Is that true? Anyone on here think that's true? Well, according to this, it says no, it's not true. We use all of our brain. And then they've created a special page to show that we use all of our brain for different functions of our body, how we listen, how we interpret, how we visualize, how we dream, how our subconscious mind is, how our conscious mind is. So that's very interesting. So this is how small a neuron is, okay? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Jason. Hey, Andrea. Thanks for hopping on here. Some neurons are very short. So they're very short, less than a millimeter in length. Some neurons are very long, a meter or more. So neurons have different lengths. Did anyone know that? It's interesting. The axon of a motor neuron in the spinal cord that innervates a muscle in the foot can be about 1 meter. Okay, so there's different neurons that help different parts of our body. Think about how long an axon of a motor neuron would be if you wanted to make a model of it. So the cell body of a motor neuron is approximately 100 microns. Okay, this is a whole bunch of just different measurements of a neuron, which isn't that exciting. Okay, so very interesting. So anyways, if anyone tells you it's not possible, now we know based on 86 billion neurons in our brain, anything's possible. We can recondition our memories. We can rewire them. We can rethink about them. Our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and not reality. So if you send a thought to your brain and it's in the subconscious mind, which subconsciously we're acting out of habits, it's subconsciously our heart's beating and all of our body's doing what it needs to do without us thinking about it, and a lot of other things, so our thoughts too. So subconsciously, our thoughts are in there, and you can send your mind a bad thought or a good thought, but your subconscious mind doesn't even really interpret whether it's good or bad. It just takes all the information you give it. So this is where you can start to rewire it. So if you catch yourself with a negative thought, you can actually stop yourself from the negative thought so it doesn't continue to get into the subconscious mind, because either way, it's like planting a seed. You throw a bunch of seeds out there and some are weeds and some aren't. The earth doesn't care what seed you're planting. It's just going to grow whatever you plant in there, as long as you water it and you take care of it. So that our thoughts are the same way. Our brain is built like that. So as you become more aware of your certain thoughts or your certain beliefs that you have, then you can actually rewire the brain. You can actually start to create, sending in all those good thoughts in there, and then you just keep watering them, put them in the right spot, condition them, and that's the amazing part about the brain, but it's also an amazing part about our life, because we can create our destiny. We can create love. If you don't have enough love, you can create it. If you don't have enough happiness, you can create it. That's the beautiful part of our brain and how it functions. And when you really, they say, knowledge is power, right? Yes, because, and then there's another quote, what you don't know won't hurt you. Well, that is actually false. What you don't know might kill you. So it's good to know this stuff. It's good to know that you have your thoughts that go into your brain through energy, creating a synapse. It's energy. It's there. And energy materializes itself into something. So when you're feeding yourself in your mind, your thoughts, make sure they have a home that you want to keep them in there, that are good thoughts. Thoughts of who you are, who you believe you are, who Christ believes you are. And it's just so amazing. The brain is amazing. What we know and what we can become knowledgeable about is so amazing. Knowledge is everything. Knowledge is your power. It's going to drive you to your destiny, drive you to where you want to be. Anyways, I just wanted to hop on here, friends, and share this wonderful information that I found today. And I just ran across it. I wasn't looking for it, but I was on a podcast and it was talking about the brain and that it had 86 billion neurons and it was 3 pounds. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. I didn't even realize it in that way. So it opened me up. I had some knowledge, but I wanted to share it with you. And I looked for more knowledge and I found more. Amazing, amazing brain power. So let's all put our brain power together and brain power positivity all over this world. We need it more than ever now because these people and this pandemic is causing some negativity and with our power of thoughts. So let's all put our heads together right now and just really think really positive, powerful thoughts. Happiness, thanks, Lisa. Happiness and love and just really, really good thoughts. We're going to plant those in our earth, in our soil, in our minds, and cast out all that negativity, cast out all that fear. Let's get rid of it. And we can do that together as a community, as a whole group of people. We can do this. Anyways, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.